Yeah, but is somebody controlling that shit too? You know
Absolutely.
what I mean?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
The algorithm.
Oh my
Absolutely.
No,
and
absolutely.
you know what's fucked up?
Yeah.
As much as we love podcasting and all that, like we get the worst of that shit because it's not like, again, kind of the whole what's the stream worth? Like as a musician, at least I know I'm getting robbed. Like I know I'm only getting half a cent on Spotify, a quarter of a quarter on YouTube or whatever. Podcasters don't get shit. You know what I mean? Like
That's a good point.
I'll
Good
get
point.
into it like of how to monetize a podcast, but it's like we don't. So for one, we making hour, 2 hour, 3 hour long content. That shit's an album, dog. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
We
Over
keeping
time.
somebody on a platform for this span of time. Spotify. I only use Spotify to listen to podcasts. They transition their whole shit to promote podcasts.
Absolutely.
But podcasters don't get paid shit. Like we don't get a stream per minute or give us 1 cent per, you know what I mean? We don't get shit.
So give the listeners some background on that because we're trying to hit the numbers that you've already hit. So for your largest show on any platform, like how much have you gotten paid from like a YouTube, like if you had 12,000 views, or on Spotify the same, how much money have you received on that?
To keep it a bean from YouTube, nothing, because when we got into YouTube, it was literally just to have an outlet to put some videos on. We ain't really fuck with knowing like monetization partners and all that shit that they got now, where it's like, you know, we'll run your ads on YouTube and pay you. Like Sean, my little cousin, he does that shit. And that knowledge just we wasn't privy to that. You know what I mean? I was privy to how radio works and how podcasting works, though, you know, as far as advertisers and sponsors and stuff like that. So yeah, YouTube, not a damn thing. Now podcasting is different. So with Life is Dope, it got to a point, like I said, where we were kind of deemed the black media. So everybody kind of wanted to advertise on our shit, which is what keeps radio alive, is advertisement.
Absolutely.
But I was one of them guys who's like, man, I don't want ads all over my shit. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to stop the show and play an ad.
Because you're looking out for your listeners.
Man, you
I
have
get
a
it.
drunk moving company up on your stuff.
Hey, I'm about to say we kind of past that now. Fuck all that. Give me the bag.
Hey,
Before
I was listening to that.
Yeah, before I was like, you know what we can do? We can kind of just find cool little ways to integrate it. So our first sponsor on Life was Dope. That was called Barrels Beer. And what that was is a beer company next door. And it was just some little shit.
Down on the Rhino.
Yep.
Right? Yeah.
So we just
I've
had
been there.
barrels because they was just giving us something to drink since we was recording next door. Shit was on screen.
That sound like us.
And we was like, man, shout out to Barrels Beer. We was just doing it off GP because they was giving us Barrels Beer. And I'm like, damn, bro, this episode got like, you know what I mean? Like, maybe Barrels should break a little bread.
Yeah, absolutely.
They be open to that shit. So then that spawns into, you know, maybe so-and-so should pay me to wear this damn hat every episode. You know what I mean? And you got to find little unique ways to start monetizing this shit because you're not going to get paid for no damn stream. Like, it's changing now. You see subscriptions and shit like that. But Spotify's not about to be like, yo, you get $1 per listen.
So let me ask you that because, and Damo, I felt like I cut you off. Did you have a question before? Did you want to switch it to a?
No, it actually dives into
Go ahead, man.
a
I'll
little
let
bit
you go.
about what you're talking about Spotify.
Yeah.
But I want to dive into like black media specifically, and the black media scene nationally and locally, and the disparities between it, because there is the way that to your point, advertisers are spending money, whether it's on TikTok, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on Spotify, you name it.
Yeah.
There's a disparity. So would love to get your thoughts on black media.
Yeah.
Like the current state of black media.
Man, that's a complex answer. It's one of those things, bro. It's like, I tell people it's a gift and a curse being in Colorado. The gift is so scarce out here that when you have the market, you have it. You know what I mean? Like I said, all we had to do was make a podcast, and we was instantly deemed the black media because there wasn't no other damn black podcast.
No.
So it was like kind of a little bit of leverage, but at the same time, it ain't no damn black media. So like I can go to Atlanta and the whole downtown got CNN, ESPN, blah, blah. I could take this skill set, walk in the door, get a highly paying job, be straight. Here, not only do I got to, you know, try to create my own shit from scratch all the time because I can't walk into a media outlet because there ain't none. I got to try to build the audience around that because, for one, Denver is really slow on podcasts for some fucking reason. You know what I mean? Like,
Got it.
a lot of people don't even know the app is just sitting on your phone to even click a podcast. You know what I mean? Like,
and that's a fact. And that's a fact. It's so
No,
many
absolutely.
people that don't know that Apple Podcast is right there.
exactly. And then
Absolutely.
on top of that, it's just statistics. I wish I could quote off the numbers. Shout out to my guy Julius at the plug. He do that shit great. But all the stats of how black people are the lowest number of consumers when it comes to podcasts. Like, we don't like to listen to shit. You know what I mean? Like, we like to see shit.
I'm starting to see that.
We don't like to listen to shit. So it's, and then podcasting is already a niche market. It's the same as if you listen to talk radio or audiobooks. Like, not everybody wants to sit and just hear people in their ear talking. So there's all these factors that you add in, and then you add in that we black. You know what I mean? So it's the biggest podcast in Denver is DMVR.
Yep, right down here.
DMVR, they're the biggest. And then there's like some sports betting. There's like some real estate shit. That's all. That ain't us. You know what I mean? And that's a mass market. And this is a good and bad thing about our people too. Is like we talk about what we know. We talk about what reflects our background. So
Do we hate too on each other?
We do. But we get on these platforms and, you know, and I'm not knocking because I do that shit. We got a whole ass morning show where we just on there bullshitting. Like you said, we got the fucking drunk moving company and shit. Shit is funny. Shit is dope to us. We gravitate to it. Yeah. But then it's like, damn, there ain't really no profitable market for certain shit. You know what I mean? And it's because we black. You know what I mean? If I'm trying to pitch certain shit and they go listen to an episode, and, what did you mean by this, that? So
Got
now I can't get a bag from Coca-Cola. I can go get a bag from, you know what I'm saying?
Swisher Sweets.
From Cripicola.
Cripicola. I like that. I like
You know what I'm
that.
saying? Which is actually, Cripicola is delicious.
You ain't chasing no Cripicola.
Shouts to Cripicola.
You ain't chasing no Cripicola.
I have some Cripicola in Cali. That shit is delicious.
Cripicola is delicious.
Yeah, Cripicola is delicious, man. But I say that to say, like, back to the Issa shit. It's like, we tend, and this is across the board, man, we usually tend to be the best at every fucking thing as black people. You know what I mean? Like, we set the trends, we set the tone, we kind of determine marketing as far as what's cool. We'll say a slang term, next thing you know, McDonald's is using that shit. We do that, and our history hasn't been, you know, we didn't really learn how to monetize our coolness. You know
No,
what I mean?
absolutely.
It was just, we just doing this shit because it's dope.
Go out there
It's
and
fly.
trademark.
The opportunity. We just want the
Yeah.
opportunity in the platform.
Now we got these spaces where it's like, okay, wait a minute, y'all really, you know what I'm saying? Like, thanks to like the Joe Buttons and Malls and them, it's like, damn, they kind of see the value in what we bring into podcasting. So we're slowly kicking that door in. It's like, yo, if we want somebody to buy this Big Mac, we should probably advertise that shit on a black podcast. It's fucked up, but you know what I mean?
No,
Black people
absolutely.
like Big Macs. Let's play that shit on the black podcast.
No, absolutely.
It's fucked up, but it's reality.
Hey,
So
not
It is,
according to
man.
Byron. What's Byron's the dude who owns the biggest media company?
Byron Allen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's suing the shit out of McDonald's right now.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Like, no, real talk, dude. He's going hard on them.
No.
And yeah, so that's I could give you the stats behind McDonald's spend on black, like, minority-owned businesses.
You see it in the commercials all the
It
time,
is
man.
low, but like there's representation, but black media companies, their platform, they're not spending it there. It's less than 1%.
Oh, I
They
see.
have like
I see.
They have like $12 billion they spend on advertising annually, and less than 1% goes to black-owned business.
Who replaced Calvin, though? Who replaced Calvin?
Calvin.
Dang, you taking it back,
I
man.
forgot about Calvin.
That's back in the day.
Yeah.
No.
No,
the
Calvin.
McDonald's.
Yeah, McDonald's back
Calvin
in the
used to
day.
be
That's where
the
this kid came from, though. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's it,
so-
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, like what happened to Calvin?
I don't know, man.
Like
Probably
so
got a
did
podcast.
Calvin have a son? Nah.
No,
so,
but on the real, Calvin
I'm
was
saying-
like the first. I don't know what they call it, but like you know how Sprint had. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there you
yeah,
go.
like
he
Cal-
was, he was the beginning Jake from State Farm.
That's what
You
I'm
know how that
saying.
dude
Yeah,
was
yeah.
doing everything.
Yo, so like why don't
We've
so,
come up.
So
We've come up
yeah,
from
moving
McDonald's to
on.
State Farm.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
There we
So,
go.
so like why isn't Calvin like Calvin's like, you know, Calvin worked at McDonald's, right? He pulled himself up by the bootstraps.
Where's
He went to
Calvin today?
college.
Yeah.
Where's Calvin today?
Where is Calvin?
Calvin has a son. Calvin sends his son to work at McDonald's to do the same thing.
Yeah. Calvin should be on like a Microsoft
yeah.
commercial or something now.
Yeah, like
Hey, but that's kind of the point of what I'm saying. Like,
But yeah, if you look at these,
that lack of knowledge is like, again, that's what we do with the plug, bro, to bring it full circle is that lack of knowledge. It's like, damn, man, we promoting a lot of shit for free.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So
I gotta say, like Wasinda has been saying that
Yeah.
for ever since we started this podcast, that we got to do better of like, to your point, monetizing of like, nah, don't give them free pub.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Make sure they.
But
paying
even
for
deeper
that.
than that, though, man, like on some
Exactly. Exactly.
on some
Terramana
black,
gotta
on some
pay
black
for that.
unity shit. Even deeper than that, though, when I say like, okay, maybe my content isn't suitable for a damn Coca-Cola ad to be placed right in the middle of. It's like, well, you know, we joke about Coca-Cola, but then it's like, well, damn, what company would benefit from advertising on my shit?
Coca-Cola.
You know what I mean? And that's when you get like a Lawrence and Lammer or some shit.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah,
that's
we
how-
trying to plug.
You know what I mean?
Lawrence and Lammer,
And-
thank
and-
you
and that's
for
how you
everything.
keep that
Ambassadors.
economy flowing. But then even deeper than that, it's like, all right, well, we know we ain't getting paid for a stream. We know we got to do X, Y, Z. We got to play all these ads. Man, fuck it. Let's leverage our own merch. Let's leverage our own something that we pushing. If you got your own company, you got a whole ass platform right here.
Go ahead and push it.
Hey,
You know what I'm saying?
keep going there. Like you touched on it earlier when you talk
Yeah.
about like the monetization of a podcast, and we just scratched the surface.
Yeah.
Tell the people who are listening, tell us, like, what does it really take to start to monetize this space?
Yeah. Nowadays is way easier than it was. And when I say nowadays, I mean literally like this year, last year. You know what I mean? Like
Oh, really?
Where platforms are starting to pop up and really realize how important podcasting is. And that is due to a lot of corporate shit. Like you've seen a lot of corporate buyouts. Like you see like Spotify buying Gimlet Media and shit like that. And so what that is they trying to do the shit like how radio does. It's like, well, damn, you getting X amount of attention, because that's all marketing is, paying for somebody's attention. People are listening to a podcast. People are listening to podcasts all day. How can we do what the fuck, them peoples do? How can we make some bread off that? So now there's outlets where it's like, okay, my podcast is distributed on iHeart. iHeart has a whole ad and media company within iHeart. So if they can advertise on radio, now they got another arm to advertise on podcasts.
Got it.
Just tap into their, and I'll give all the game. Fuck it.
That's what we here for.
Yeah.
That's what we here for.
Yeah, their iHeart specifically, theirs is called, I believe it was called Ad Roll. They might have changed it, but there's another one. And I was gonna tell you about this. It's called Podcorn, PODCORN.com.
Okay.
And there's quite a few of those that have been popping up. But Podcorn's the OG. And what it is, if you listen to like 85 South Show or there's quite a few podcasts, you'll notice they always be shouting out the same shit. It'd be like Bevel Blade, Squarespace,
MeUndies.
Yep.
yeah, BlueChew.com,
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
HelloFresh.
shoot.
There's like a whole shit. And you like, damn, man, how Wallow and Gilly do that shit too. It'd be the same commercials. You're like, damn, how are y'all tapped in?
New
the same-
Amsterdam, Baca.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Well, that's
absolutely.
different, and I'll speak on that one. But it's because there's an ad network. It's like, all right, you go on like a site like Podcorn, and you say, okay, I got a podcast. You sign up as a podcaster, and this is kind of what we do at the Plug too. We place your content with the advertiser that matches your market. So
Ah, okay.
if you're what they call urban, fuck all that. I hate that. But if you're what they call an urban podcast, let's say your demographic is black men ages 21 to 45 or some shit.
Got it.
What do black men ages 21 to 45 like? They're going to list you a whole bunch of companies that speak to your demographic, and then they'll say make an offer or some shit. You know what I mean? And you be like, oh, okay, we'll mention your company on our show for $100 every episode. And that's low end, but that's how it works. You know what I
Got
mean?
it.
They'll say make us an offer. You send it to the company. They'll be like, okay, we'll pay you $200 to say our name at the beginning of the show, a pre-roll ad. Or we'll pay you $400 if you just bring it up casually in conversation. And there's a lot of companies that do this now that didn't do that before. Before, you had to have a sales team, or you had to get out and hustle and be like, yo, I got a show. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
a nigga with a mixtape. Hey,
They're
you like
coming to
hip hop?
find you.
You like podcasts? But now they do it where they match you up.
Yeah.
And I can attest to that. Like, it works, bro.
Okay, we need to invest in that
So
then.
Podcorn.
Podcorn. So,
Podcorn.
So you know what's crazy? I don't want to change too much, but it has to go into like the monetization on social platforms. I was reading an article today on Blavity, and they were talking about the top earners on TikTok.
Yep.
And they were talking about there's the top TikTok earners So there's a couple stats that they put on, but one that just blew my mind. They have people with the top earners are getting like $500K a post for like one post on advertisement by these Sony well, just talking about these Sony headphones that they're wearing and how that.
I'd be curious. Did they break it down into like demographics?
Yes.
Of like
yes, they did, and that was the other part I was gonna hit him. But hey, Damo, you're long-winded. But another thing they talked about is one of the top dudes on he's has like 127 million followers.
Damn.
And he is one of the top people on the TikTok platform. I don't know. His name is it starts with a K. But he's like a skinny black dude, and he was on like the playoff commercials. Yeah. And he doesn't speak; he just does like gestures.
I know exactly because he has one on IG too.
He does that right there. He has 127 million followers.
That's exactly what it is.
That's exactly what he does.
Yeah.
He goes. Hey, and he gets paid per ad. He gets paid less than the top 25.
Facts.
Content producers. So there's no in the list of Forbes.
Wait, he gets paid less.
Less.
Wow.
In the list of Forbes top 25 TikTokers, he has the most amount of followers, and he's not on the top 25 in terms of pay.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's so,
and
like,
that's
it
where
just
the
goes into what you're
systemic shit kind of
talking
comes
about,
into
dude.
play, bro. Like,
got it.
It's like, we look at certain things, and I want to get back to the monetization too, but we look at things like, to us, we might, if I say what's the top podcast to you, naturally we're gonna say what's in our fucking algorithm. Like, Drink Champs and Joe Budden and Bodega Boys, they clearly the number one podcast.
Outside of Joe Rogan, of course, right? Everybody knows
he's just something different.
Yeah.
So naturally we be like, nah, but Joe Rogan's something different.
Yeah.
And it's like, but is he though? You know what I mean? Like, is he something different because he's something different?
No.
Or is it because of the way that shit is structured?
The machine is behind it.
Exactly. So we don't get the machines behind us the way a Joe Rogan does. Or, like the top podcast in the world is all like crime shows and shit like that.
Yeah.
So I got a question. I'm gonna push back on the old boy just as an example.
Yeah.
Like, is that a fact that we generally we're coming from poverty, whatever, that we don't negotiate that well because
there's some of that too.
You're pretty much
that's fair.
You're worth what you can negotiate.
Facts. I think
that's completely fair.
That's a good point.
That's absolutely fair. And again, that kind of goes back to the knowledge.
So you don't know what you don't know, right?
You don't know what you don't know,
Okay.
and it's knowledge, bro. Like, I'm big on knowledge, and that's one of the things. Like, if I'm dead ass broke, you know what I'm saying, I can't afford no food tonight, and you say, yo, I'm gonna give you $300,000 for your podcast. That's fucking incredible in my brain, not knowing that Lil Susie and them's podcast just got offered $300 million,
and they have the same amount of followers,
or not even
or
the
less.
same amount,
or
less. You know what I
or
mean?
less.
But they have crossover appeal. They have a wider market because they're not black. You know what I mean?
Because they have the data in the back that tells that story that you've been talking about.
And that's why that's why the hip hop artist Russ is so cold with it.
Yeah.
Man, Russ was on Rory and Mal talking about the importance of remaining independent.
But tell the listeners like what Russ's position is, because he's indie, right?
Yeah, so Russ is an indie artist who, who's doing crazy numbers, but
he's white also.
Yes, and on the come up, man, like even the numbers he was talking about, just being an indie artist on the come up. The dude was saying that he was making $150,000 a month, and then he was like, well, if I'm making $150,000 a month, he started looking long range in terms of, if I sell you the rights to my album for $1 million, $2 million, how much is the actual company going to ultimately make from my album 10 years, 20 years down the road?
5 times that, man.
But that's one of them things. That's one of them things, man. And I'll talk to my homies in music about this. One of my guys is dealing with a situation right now where he's trying to decide whether he wants to take a deal or remain independent. It's like, even when I mention like the Podcorn and the sponsors for podcasts and stuff, there is that part where people hear that and they're like, okay, bet I'm about to just go get sponsors and get some money. You still need to attract people to your product. Like,
content
first
at
thing
the end of the
ask,
day.
like, there's what you was talking about with the social influencers and shit like that. I wish I could think of the website, but y'all use your Googles. It's like a influencer calculator or something. You put in your social media name and it be like, yo, you should generate X amount of dollars per post based on your following and your active engagements. If you don't got no kind of engagement, if you're not bringing people to you, if you're not boosting your value, then all this talk don't really matter, because like shit, you're not really generating a product that's worth any, like, I'm not saying it's not worth it, but you know what I mean? Numbers wise, it doesn't make sense. So,
because to your point, it's like on YouTube, right? Is a prime example of like, yeah, you might have 1,000 views, but how long are those viewers staying for the content of your show? It might be like a minute. You know, I'd rather have 100 viewers that stay for an hour rather than 1,000 viewers that stay for like 10 minutes. Exactly. You know what I mean?
And then in sponsor talk, they're going to ask about engagements. So it's like, all right, you can have 1 million views, but if you got 60 comments, it's like, you're not really.
And do those comments come from bots?
Yeah. Right. So there's a lot that goes into it. But I say that to say, you know, like, there's 3 ways to really get paid off podcasting right now. It's sponsorships, you know, doing ad rolls, read, shit like that. There's subscription based, which is kind of popping up everywhere now, where you could do a Patreon, or you could, you know, $5 a month, we give you extra content, whatever. And then there's deals. Like, you just simply just get a deal from a production company to make content.
Absolutely.
That's the one where you kind of got to test your moral compass on, you know, they say every man got a price.
They gonna tell David to come in a little bikini thong.
You know what I'm saying?
No, absolutely.
James gonna sacrifice his ass.
Yeah, man.
Go ahead, get your ass out there, Damo.
Go get your ass in that motherfucking thong.
No,
James gonna sacrifice that little lamb.
I've been like, hey, this is your salary per episode. Are you willing to do it?
Shit get real.
Like,
that's that rush shit though, because you got to make that decision. It's like, all right, am I really? You gotta be real with yourself, because I've had to do this. It's like, I could take this check. This company's gonna they gonna push my shit. They gonna get me the exposure I need, just like a record deal. Yeah, you gonna get me on radio. You gonna give me that budget for my videos, all that type shit. So this little bit of money to y'all might be a lot to me. Yeah. In the grand scheme, I might have to be okay with taking 300,000 and you take 300 million, because you doing 300 million worth of work. You know what I mean?
And they own it in what's that word? Perpetuity?
Perpetuity.
Yeah.
They own it. And that's the thing. They own it in perpetuity.
That's the problem.
And that's what Russ was saying.
Yeah.
Russ was like, you can create something, it blow, and somebody throw you 10 million. And as an individual, that's hard to turn down.
Yeah.
But if you're playing the long game, right?
But if you're playing the long game, man, you have to have that ability to say no, because that company owns that shit forever.
Dog. I remember $1 million worth of game when they was first transitioning, because they used to be them, another dude, and a girl when that show first started.
Now they're Barstool.
Yeah. So there was a big controversy in the podcast world. People was judging the fuck out of $1 million worth of game, because that's what it was. It was like, all right, y'all can sign the Barstool for whatever the number is. Mm-hmm. I guess it was a low end number compared to what other podcasters were getting. And it was like, yo, but once you sign the Barstool owns $1 million worth of game. This is a Barstool production. So the way Gilly and them structured it was like, all right, bet, shit, y'all can own $1 million worth of game, but we gonna bring personal value. Like, now you know Wallow, now you know Gilly, so I can shit. Like what Life is Dope. Like, damn,
absolutely.
Once Life is Dope was done, you know Graffitti still, I can go bring some other shit. I can bring the check in. Y'all niggas can have what y'all paid for, because the value is moving away. It ain't the name, it's the people. You know what I'm saying? So I say that's where your moral compass come in, because if somebody came in right now like, yo, here's the bag y'all need, but I don't like how you sound, you got to stop saying that. Y'all got to start saying this every end of your episode.
Somebody's putting the agenda together for you. We're getting the guests. We're procuring all that for you. Yeah. Like, this is what it's going to be now.
Some people want that. Some people just want to show up, sit down, and talk, and that's cool.
Real quick,